Hi, I'm Gloria J with Action Speaks, and today we will continue our readings of history, references, research, and studies on the gifted or giftedness. We will continue with the study of Beyond Deficit Thinking, providing access for gifted African American students, underrepresentation, and gifted education. How did we get here? And what needs to change? The author is Michelle Fraser Trotman. The date of publication, January 1, 2002. Geographical Code 1 USA. Publication Roper Review. ISSN number 02783193. Come join me with the continuing reading and hope that you would have more understanding and knowledge about giftedness and what it means and how important it is to identify your child. These readings will hopefully authenticate the production of my book, Every Child Born Gifted. Recommendations for change beyond deficit ideologies. Schools must eliminate barriers to the participation of economically disadvantaged and minority students in services for students with outstanding talents, and must develop strategies to serve students from underrepresented groups. USDE 1993, page 28. To recruit and retain African American students in gifted education more effectively, educators must clearly shred deficit thinking. This attitudinal or philosophical change increases the probability that educators will adopt contemporary theories and definitions of giftedness, use culturally sensitive instruments, identify and serve gifted underachievers, provide all their students with a multicultural education, provide all staff members with multicultural preparations, and seek strong home-school partnerships. See Table 4. Now I really want to expand or extend on that I am a pioneer homeschooler for gifted children. 1984. Adopt contemporary theories and definitions. A number of theories of intelligence and giftedness exist, but two appear to capture the strengths, abilities, and promise of gifted black learners. Sternberg's 1985, The Triarchate Theory of Intelligence, proposes that intelligence reveals itself in at least three ways: componentially, experientially, and contextually. Componential learners are analytical and abstract thinkers who do well on standardized tests and in school. Experiential learners value creativity and enjoy novelty. They dislike rules and follow few of their own. They see rules as inconveniences meant to be broken. Contextual learners readily adapt to their environment. A skill IQ test fails to measure. They are street-smart survivors, socially competent and practical. but they may do poorly in school. Gardner, 1983, distinguished among 7 types of intelligences: linguistics, logical mathematical, interpersonal, infrapersonal, bodily kinesthetic, spatial, and musical, each of which entails distinct forms of perception, memory, and other psychological processes. In his theory of multiple intelligence, Gardner defines intelligence as the ability to solve problems or to fashion products valued in one or more cultural settings. These 2 broad and comprehensive, flexible, and inclusive theories contend that giftedness is a social construct that manifests itself in many ways and means different things for different cultural groups. The theorists acknowledge the multifaceted, complex nature of intelligence and how current tests, which are too simplistic and static, fail to do justice to this construct. In addition, the USDE 1993 most recent definition of gifted also broadens notions of giftedness. Children and youth with outstanding talent perform or show the potential for performing at remarkably high levels of accomplishments when compared with others of their age, experience, or environment. These children and youth exhibit high performance capacity in intellectual, creative, and/or artistic areas, and unusual leadership capacity, or excel in specific academic fields. They require services or activities not ordinarily provided by the schools. Outstanding talents are present in children and youth from all cultural groups, across all economic strata, and in all areas of human endeavor. Page 19, emphasis added. The inclusion of potential in the federal definition appears to recognize an obligation to serve those students who have, for whatever reason, yet to manifest their abilities. These students may include underachievers, minority youngsters, economically disadvantaged students, and students with special education need. Finally, the definition wisely reminds educators that giftedness exists among all socio-demographic groups, even among poor children. Use culturally sensitive instruments. To date, the most promising instruments for assessing the strengths of black students are such nonverbal tests of intelligence as the Naegeli non-verbal, the Naegeli nonverbal abilities test and Raven's matrix analogies test, which are considered less culturally loaded than traditional tests. See Kaufman, 1994. I don't know that name, but I believe it's pronounced as Sakurzo. Let's see. Sakurzo. Saccuzzo. ETAL, 1994. You may want to look up the spelling for that, or the pronunciation for that word, or for that name. Accordingly, these are more likely to capture the cognitive strengths of black students. For instance, identified substantively more black and Hispanic students using Ravens than using a traditional test, and reported that 50% of the non-white students who had failed to qualify based on a Wechsler or a WISC qualified with the Raven. Page 10. They went on to state that the Raven is a far better measure of peer potential than tests such as the WISC, whose scores depend heavily on acquired knowledge. Page 10. Educators should understand that nonverbal tests assess intelligence nonverbally. This is not to say that students are nonverbal. Rather, the tests give students opportunities to demonstrate their intelligence without the confounding influence of language and academic exposure. We shall continue with Identify and Serve Gifted Underachievers in our next reading. We'll give you time to look up some of the reading that I've done here and to confirm some of the things that you may think of as giftedness, and it will also confirm your dislikes or your disagreements with what schools or teachers may see as being gifted. Your child is gifted. We believe that every child is gifted, is born gifted. And that's the end of this session on information, references, research, studies, and history that will produce or will affect positively the production of every child born gifted. Thank you for listening. May God bless you. I'm Gloria J with Action Speaks.